Our next principle is using good names for your methods, variables, and classes. Best names are long and self-descriptive. In fact, if you have good names, you can often avoid writing a comment entirely because the names of the methods and variables you're using say what the code does. So here's an example of a bad way to do it. The variable is named temp, and so you have to describe it with a comment explaining what it does. Much, much better would be to give it a name that actually describes what it does, because not only is this shorter, but it means that everywhere this variable occurs in the rest of the code, it'll be clear what it's supposed to represent. Whereas if you're just putting in a comment, you're depending on the programmer to notice this comment and memorize it. And in general, these kinds of names, temp, temp, data, they're just symptoms of laziness. Every variable is temporary, every variable has data in it, so these kinds of names are basically meaningless by themselves. You should aim to use longer, more descriptive names so that your code reads clearly all by itself. Part of naming is making sure that you're following the conventions of the programming language that you're using. So in Python, you may have noticed classes typically start with a capital letter. Variables are typically all lowercase, and when you have multiple words in a name, in Python what you do is you separate them by underscores. In Java, things are a little bit different, so instead of using underscores, we use camel case, which means that the first letter of each word is capitalized. We still lowercase methods and we still lowercase variables, just as you did in Python. When you have a constant, the standard in Java is to put it in all capital letters, and there camel case doesn't work, so you have to separate the words in it with an underscore instead. Classes are still capitalized, although with camel case, and when we talk about packages, packages are in lowercase and they're separated by dots. It's good to make your method names verb phrases, things like get, date, or is uppercase. Variable and class names are typically nouns. You want to choose short words and be concise, but avoid abbreviations. So there's no reason to type MSG when message would be just as clear. Also keep in mind that some of the developers who work with you may not be native English speakers, so abbreviations may be even harder for them to understand. So this smelly leap method that we've been working on has a few bad names in it. The method, parameter, the local variable. What would you call them instead? Let's look at it in the exercises next.